The Emerald City, Seattle, once gleamed with the promise of wonder and ambition. When eerie emerald auroras ignited the sky, a cataclysm split the earth, unleashing walls of roiling water that swallowed entire neighborhoods and toppled skyscrapers into fragile relics of hubris. 6 months on, the streets still whisper of agony and loss. Amid ash and ruin, reconstruction falters and unseen horrors claim the night. Their black parade marches through ruins, preying on the living. Sorcerers wield forbidden magic, blood-starved vampires and ravenous shapeshifters roam freely beneath the cursed green glow. Pulsing overhead, the auroras serve as a sickly beacon to the darkness thriving below. Yet, there are a few who do not yield to desolation. Hunters rise, armed with blade and conviction, and a vow to drive these monsters back into the shadows. But when hope feels like a cruel joke, can one's soul make a difference? Seattle, under its haunting emerald sky, awaits your courage. Step into Seattle Falling Tide, a HuntertheReckoning chronicle.
Hello, and welcome to the Dahlia World Gardens presentation of Seattle Falling Tide, a HuntertheReckoning chronicle. I am your caretaker, Tim Dahlia. What you are about to watch is an actual play of HuntertheReckoning, a tabletop role-playing game of horror and suspense set in the world of darkness. This is a game that draws from the darker, more sinister aspects of our lives and mythologies. Our story may contain mature themes, including, but not limited to, body horror, graphic violence, blood, death, mental illness, power imbalances, sexual themes, and social injustice. Please watch at your discretion and take a break if needed. We have set up a system of lines and veils to ensure player safety, and we will respect them throughout the story. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. If you're feeling generous, join our Patreon. Anything we collect there goes directly to making these shows better. And with that out of the way, I'll hand the reins over to Storyteller Sleepy so that we can tell a hunter story.
I'm Sleepy. I am the storyteller for this campaign. I'm going to do a quick recap after I introduce everybody, and let's go left to right with Calon.
Hi, I'm Calon, and I play Martin Sherman.
And then we'll go to Goss.
I'm Goss. I play Dr. Evelyn Talbot.
And then Scot.
I am Scot, and I play Draven Crawford.
Okay, so let me pull up my notes so that I'm accurate. No, my notes are not accurate. Good. So in our last meeting, you guys had decided to go talk to the person who owned Club 206 before its current owner. Found out that this weird, shady, douchebag type guy kind of made her an offer that seemed too good to be true, and she took the offer, and hasn't really been following the club since, thinking that like her vision was perfect and was hoping that they would carry on that vision. You also have received information about Simon's garage, and that might be a point of interest to check out. Maybe get some more information on where Jessica has been. So if I remember right, the last thing we were doing was we were at the safe house and Martin was getting ready to explain why he knows so much about vampires.
That's right.
That is correct. Quick second here. Right. So we just dive right into this then, huh? What were we doing like right when we ended session? Like we were sitting down getting ready for Martin to talk, right?
Yeah, you were in the war room, had just kind of gone over the information that you had gotten, and were trying to make plans about what to do, but everyone had so little information on the quarry that you decided that maybe you should shed some light.
That's right. I remember now. Yeah, so me and my band, we fell in with a crew of, I don't know, bar owners and club managers and stuff like that. Nothing like 207. These were the more classy institutions. Club 206. And one of them one night presented us with an offer we couldn't refuse. An offer to play regularly with steady income, but that we also had to do some under the table work on the side. All of us were kinda not really down with that, because I mean, none of us are exactly saints. You know, we've been around the Seattle Underground a little bit, but we've stayed at the surface mostly, not venturing too deep in. But something about this didn't really feel like we were allowed to say no. And then the conversation got kind of heated. You know, we were trying to defend ourselves, trying to stick up for ourselves, and then suddenly there was like a beat, and suddenly everybody except me was on board with it. Like, there was a sudden change in the air, and everybody was all for it, except for me. It wasn't until I saw the fangs that I think I understood why.
Wait, fangs?
The fangs, vampire fangs, on this person who was talking to us. It's an owner of, I need to come up with a jazz club name, hold on. The owner of Putting on the Ritz, in, right in the heart of downtown.
You always would be fairly familiar with that club.
She's got strikingly pale skin, you know, but everybody thought, oh, she's just your standard very pale white lady. But she won them over so easy that it didn't feel natural, especially with Nelson. Nelson was as against all of this as I was. You know, she was talking about moving goods, most of them in crates and stuff like that. But something about that rubbed me the wrong way. Is it just crates of, like, drugs? Is it crates of weapons? You know, none of that shit felt right. And it felt like it would get us in a lot deeper than any of us ever wanted to be. Most of us just wanted to be, honestly, mostly just stoners who have a good time. Get a little bit extra sometimes. And that was as far into the underground as we really wanted to go. But we suddenly couldn't say no to this. At least they couldn't. And when I talked to them about it afterwards, they were like, what do you mean? You were on board with that too? And I was like, no, that the whole time. He's gonna get a little bit antsy and anxious about all this. Like, it's an uncomfortable topic for him because, well, I mean, it was rough. That was the night that we almost ended adult jazz right then and there, because it was like they were dismissing me at every opportunity, at every turn. Suddenly, they were telling me that I was being hypocritical, or suddenly just got cold feet, and that it was just a few overnight jobs. She hasn't called us for any of this stuff yet, but I don't doubt that she will when she needs us, and I still don't want to do that.
So you don't know what it is that she wants you moving yet?
Not entirely. I know it's most likely drugs. I couldn't tell you what kind, but when I saw those fangs, it was like something clicked. Like she was trying to use them to intimidate me, to side with them, knowing that whatever the fuck just happened didn't work on me. You guys have heard stories in mythology of vampires being able to manipulate people's memories, right? I
mean, yeah, I suppose so. There's a lot of vampire type creatures in mythology, in anthropology, that everything from Bram Stoker, who drew from a great deal of Transylvanian stories, all the way, I mean, all over Europe, and there are several other types of other cultures that have had somewhat similar stories of the Walking Dead. Some of them conflate our concept of zombies with vampires as well. So what are we talking about here?
I think we're talking about something a little closer to Bram Stoker, maybe. What I know is that she told us that she's a part of some higher organization, and that there are multiple organizations that we have to be careful of when working with her. She wouldn't tell me much more than that, just that there's a hierarchy, and that hierarchy is law regardless of whichever one you subscribe to, of whichever organization you subscribe to.
A hierarchy, are we talking like feudal or corporate?
Feudal, I think, at least in initial structure, but given the types of things that she wants done, I'd say it's made its way into a corporate setting, at least an underworld corporate setting, maybe. The part that screws me up the most is that when I was talking with these guys the day after we had this argument and everything, only Nelson remembered it, but he remembered it a little differently.
So the effect continued even after, continued changing memories even after you were outside of her presence.
Yeah. Every time I've been around that lady since, she gives off this, I don't know, maybe she always did give off this air of creepiness and weirdness, but nothing feels right about her every time we're around her. And I always chalk this up to coincidence, but I've only ever seen the woman at night. Ever.
Well, I mean, she's a club owner, so that would sort of make sense.
But when we contact her during the day to try and clarify details, we never hear anything from her before 6 p.m. We never see her before at least that time. The staff of her club, she's only ever seen at night. I've talked to one of them and they agree that she gives them the creeps, but they don't really seem otherwise bothered by her. The rest of them, if I have managed to talk to them, don't say shit. They try to avoid the topic.
And you think that's what we may be dealing with Jessica's disappearance?
I think it's a really strong possibility. I did a little digging into other areas. I couldn't come up with much, but if this is what we're thinking of, and I mean, it seems more likely given that we just watched a man jump 20 feet into the air completely out of nowhere. I think if nothing else, it's worth considering. We don't know what else she could do, what else he could do, and what they could do to us as a result.
Do I need to actually start researching vampirism?
I don't see why not.
Well, we have a bunch of other leads that we need to follow up on. Fallon Cross. There was Hank down at the FDR that seemed to said he knew something about vampires. And then there's Simon Porter.
Those names might give us insight into the underground around here. How dark things really get around here.
Okay, well, I can't believe I can believe I'm gonna do this. I guess, Draven, if you want to start following up on some of these other leads, I can start pulling information about vampires. I don't know how much it'll be useful, but maybe some of it.
Specifically, see if you can find out anything related to weaknesses.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, daytime is at least annoying to them. We'll have to see what we can find out about whether it does them any damage. Because it's all mythology, at least up until right now. What I find out, we'll have to suss through and try and figure out what's true and what's not.
Keep the memory manipulation thing in mind. Don't be surprised if they find a way to skew things. Things probably won't seem right at a first glance if you find anything interesting.
Well, Stoker, the legends that he used, did mention something, I guess, about hypnotization, mesmerization. So he used it in his novel, but that was also a very popular pastime, like table tipping and seances and things at the time. So I don't know how much of it. Well, I'll do the research while you guys do the following up, and we'll see what I come up with. Weaknesses, memory alteration, sensitivity to sunlight, fangs, and maybe the need for blood. Those are the only things we know. Is that right? I mean, have you witnessed the blood thing?
No, but why would I?
True. I think I'm glad that you haven't witnessed or experienced the blood thing.
Yeah, if that part is true, I'd rather avoid it at all costs.
Okay, I guess we've got our work cut out. I'm gonna get started on this research and see what I find out. She turns back to the computer, or heads back to the computer, and gets going on it.
So Dr. Talbot's working on research. What's everyone else doing?
Martin's... Having just talked about them, he's probably checking in with his bandmates to make sure everybody's doing all right, at least to start.
Quick clarification, how much previously, and so we've looked at the history of the club, we've looked at the ownership. Can you remind me, how far into detail did we go into the physical history of the club itself?
Not very at all. Mostly you've looked into ownership and the kind of club scene it's been. But as for any events that have happened in the building, the fires, robberies, incidents at the club, you guys haven't looked into that almost at all.
Okay. Draven knows nothing about vampires. He has seen Lost Boys. So
Twice.
once in theaters. He is going to Draven would probably see if he can utilize some resources to get more detail on if they're only around when the club, let's say they're around after 6 p.m. So they're only around at night. One, we should start surveilling the club. Do they arrive after 6 p.m. or are they just there? And if they're just there, that means there's more to the building than meets the eye. Oh, I don't even need a special contact for this. I would just go to City Hall and try to do just a record search on deeds.
Sweet. So I've got Dr. Talbot doing research on vampires, focusing on weaknesses. Draven is looking into the history of the building. And Martin is trying to get in contact with his band members.
Mostly just to check on them, yeah.
Okay. I need to pull up the names of your band members. This is the wrong board. Okay, let's start with Martin, because I made that roll. The only one of your band members you're able to get a hold of is Nelson. And it's not uncommon for you to like shoot a text or a call out and not hear from them for days. But Nelson gets back to you probably within like 15 minutes. So what specifically did you say?
Let's see. Hey, Nelson. Just making sure you and the other guys are okay. I need a name for this woman. Has Maria asked you guys to do anything for her yet?
No, we just play at the venue. What do you mean asked us to do anything?
You mean you don't remember her pulling us aside and asking, like, as part of a stipulation of our gig to move some stuff for her sometimes?
Well, we like move product around the bar, like the club, you know, like go pick up crates of alcohol or food or whatnot and bring it here. But like it sounds like you're talking about something shady and we're just doing club work.
Okay. Maybe I'm just misremembering the interaction or reading.
I mean, everyone's okay. I mean, Tony's kind of hitting the sauce pretty hard, but that's not too uncommon.
Yeah, that sounds like Tony. Okay, well, I mean, maybe I'm probably just overthinking what she said. You know how I am.
Oh, Maria said you've been spending a lot of time at other clubs and that's starting to worry her. She's worried you're gonna break the contract.
Oh, no, she doesn't need to worry about that. Me visiting other clubs is just other business. I'm not planning on performing at any of these.
Well, I would hope not. I mean, performing without the band is kind of a dick move.
It is.
I thought we had something here, you know?
We do. But what makes you think that we wouldn't just because I've been visiting other clubs?
It's just Maria had said something about it. I guess she heard you'd been hanging out at some club over in SoDo for a while, so...
I mean, I was only there a couple of times, and it was to ask about a friend of mine.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's fine then. She wants us to play in a couple nights. You should, make it, or she'll get upset.
Well, yeah, of course. I'll be there. Just text me the details, will you?
I'm going to catch this bus, so I'll see you later.
All right, see you.
All right, so let's go with Scott down at City Hall. Let's see, does it make more sense for me to roll or you to roll? I'm going to have you roll if I can pull up the thing. Because they're basically just going to hand you a, file box full of shit about the club.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be you kind of searching through it. Oof, my laptop does not like this PDF. Go ahead and roll me intelligence and investigation.
Intelligence and investigation. One success.
So you're able to find out that the club was built in the late 70s and there's been no major incidents. There was a fire back in the mid 90s and the club had to be shut down and fully refurbished because it did quite a bit of damage. But it's a brick building, so it held up fairly well. But other than that, you're not able to find much. Definitely nothing within the last 20 years. Other than you can see that it's changed hands since the 70s probably 10 times.
Is there any consistency or what do the names look like that changed hands over the course of 10 times?
They're all none of the names stand out to you as weird, except the current owner is Oh, where's it at? It's in my notes. I forgot the name of the conglomerate they used to buy it. It is not in my notes. It's under Rat Pack Conglomerate.
Under, what was that?
Rat Pack Conglomerate is the current owner. Let me actually put that in my notes.
Did the information they provide go into detail as far as the building schematics, permitting wise?
It looks like there's a main floor, a loft, and a very small cellar basement area, which you would know in Seattle is not super common to have a below ground level, at least not in a business like that.
He is curious about the businesses that are adjacent to this one.
Okay, there was the furniture store and an empty building, because Club 206 is the end of the row of buildings. So the building next to it is part furniture store / maker, like custom furniture, and then the other half of that building is, at least on record, unoccupied. And has been for 10 years. Its last known business was a small bakery.
Small bakery. And in any of their public records probably look more normal in terms of, these look like the normal type of buildings that we would see in Seattle. Or is there perhaps, do they all have unusual cellars?
No, it looks pretty standard.
Okay. It's very efficient bureau. That honestly, that's very efficient bureaucracy. I'm quite happy with City Hall right now.
At least in my pretend world, the government does its job.
The empty building, so the club, the furniture store manufacturer, and the empty space share a larger structure.
Yeah, it's one of those it's two separate buildings, but they're built touching each other.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the walls are right up against each other. So it is a separate building, but it is so close together that it would, if you were walking past, it would look like one.
And in terms of connection, it would be empty is adjacent to furniture store is adjacent to club.
The furniture store would be on the front half where the entrance to the club would be, and then the abandoned building would be the bakery. It was more we bake food and then sell it to movie theaters, restaurants, and things like that. And its entrance would be in the alley.
You ever heard the expression that curiosity buildings is nobody cares if you go inside? What time of day is it right now?
If you're at City Hall, it would have to be between 9 and 5. So I'll leave that up to you.
If it's well, it would take time. It would open at 9. Even a well-running it would take a while. So it's been early afternoon. I feel compelled to visit the empty building.
Okay. Just gonna head over there?
Yes. If you would like to work with Goss first.
Yeah. I'm gonna do Goss's research and then we'll jump back over to you. All right, Goss, I'm gonna need you to make some rolls. So,
oh boy, here we go.
How are you starting your research into the weakness of vampires? What's the first approach here?
She is an academic, so that's where we start. But she will probably have picked up her laptop and gone to the university, because the university library might have books that have not yet been digitized. So she'll be digging around in their archives and such as well as picking through internet resources, old things that have been digitized, especially from Eastern Europe, and regarding, the Stokerian portions of vampire mythology to try and break it down. It's really going to be pissing her off that she feels like she's chasing down a bunch of Hollywood garbage.
So to even find books, go ahead.
Because the actual legends of vampires really didn't, as we understand them, really didn't get going until the late 18th, early 19th centuries. And before that, they were revenants or, so she's chasing down what feels like a wild goose chase.
So to even find books that seem useful, that don't seem like I've collected these couple stories and here's my take on them, I'm going to need an intelligence and academics roll to kind of search the library for like useful information. And then it'll be a separate roll to find information in those books.
Okay.
And this is within Creed for you.
Intelligence and academics.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 successes and an exclamation point, which I've forgotten what that means.
That's on the desperation dice, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that is you've like overreached your hand. There's 2 options we can take here, but I'm going to either you have overplayed your hand and your danger will increase, or it will come at a cost. I'm sorry, or you can fall into despair, which you would have to do whatever your Creed's redeeming task is to be able to get out of despair and have access to your desperation dice again.
Oh, I'm actually leaning increasing danger because we're flirting with shit we don't understand.
And I think that's the one that makes the most sense here. All right, I'm going to increase your danger to 2. Okay, you got a really good roll. So you're able to find 3 books that seem to be, one is just a straight up collection of myths, not specifically vampire myths, but specifically Eastern European myths and legends. And it's written at a doctorate level. So this is not like fancified. These are like this is the myth and this is how it ties into that society. This is the myth. This is how it ties into that society. It is a very fucking dry read.
Okay, so it's an anthropological study.
Yeah, it's probably something that Evelyn's actually really going to enjoy. You find another book that is not written to that quality, but it's by it's co-written by a biologist and an anthropologist, and it's creatures of myth and how to fight them. And the third book is history of Eastern European politics and how myths play into them. Go ahead and roll me real quick, though, a wits and awareness as you're taking these books to wherever you're going to read them.
Is that also within Creed?
Let me double check your Creed. I don't think so, because you're just noticing something. I'm going to say no, because it's literally... You're making a perception.
Okay, then I have 4 successes.
Okay, you notice that as you gather these specific books, one of the library clerks looks at you suspiciously and then hurries off into the back room.
Is this a clerk I know personally?
Not know personally, but you know of them. They've been working at the library for quite a while.
So I've seen them around.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a mental note, just that particular person who I'm going to need a name for behaved oddly.
That's the page I forgot. I forgot my name generated page. No, I don't like any of this. Joseph Johnson would be like, you've seen them around and he's wearing a name tag. But other than like you've seen him shelving books and checking books out when people need to actually take them from the library, you've had little to no interaction with them.
Okay, so Evelyn will make that mental note that's odd, and she may ask around, ask a friend at the library or somebody about that particular person. And then she's going to take her books to a reading desk with her laptop and start sorting through and making notes.
Which book are you going to start with?
She's going to start with the anthropological treatise because at least something should be familiar, god damn it.
So I'm going to have you roll for each of the books. It's going to be the same roll each time, but it will just depend on how useful of information you're able to actually piece together.
Oh, okay.
Because you're using both your hunter knowledge of like what you've seen and what you know is like plausible, and then also your academic mind of like this information is clearly biased or it is conjecture as opposed to like this is what has been gathered and this is what has been presented. So
Okay.
go ahead and I'll let you decide between wits or intelligence whether you're leaning more on your anthropological skills or your hunter skills and investigation.
I think she's going at this as an academic, at least for the time being, simply because that's the kind of information that she's looking into right now. And also for now, it's the only source of information that she knows they have. So that's where she's going with that for now.
Cool.
And this is within Creed.
Yes.
So there is 6 successes on that roll.
So, in the anthropological treaty, you find that it is rumored that the vampiric myths from around the world are all based off of one grouping of vampires. 6 successes. And you know that those myths aren't recorded, but there's stories of them going all the way back to like pre-biblical time. You also find out that the most common in all of the myths is that sunlight and holy symbols are what is a vampire's true weakness.
Sorry, just making notes. Okay, so, all right, let's move on to book number 2.
Okay, which one are you doing next? The mythical monsters and how to fight them, or the Eastern European nobility and its ties to monsters, or its ties to myths?
She is so not excited about politics, so she's going with the how to fight them. Let's see if there's corroborating weakness evidence.
Okay, so go ahead and make me either the intelligence or wits plus investigation.
That would be 8 successes.
This one says that in all vampire stories around the world, from the vampiric unicorns in India to the Bram Stoker-esque European vampires, it appears that piercing its heart will kill it. Some stories say wood, some say silver, some say a blessed item, but they all reference piercing the heart, or as we in modern America's media think of staking a vampire. You also see in this book, it says that holy symbols don't always work. It might have something to do with the belief of that specific vampire. And again, it references sunlight. This also says that silver weapons are likely to cause instant death.
Okay, and book number 3.
Go ahead and roll.
Another 6 successes.
So in this one, it seems that the Eastern Europeans believed that not only were many of their nobility either some form of mythical creature, but were blessed by some sort of mythical creature. You don't see anything specific to vampires in this book.
Sorry, trying to write with a wiggly puppy in one hand is a little bit of a challenge.
Been there. I mean, it was 2 characters, but I've been there. Okay, before we jump on to the next part of your research, I have an interesting little thing that's going to happen. Martin, where do you happen to be late afternoon this day? Or I'm sorry, early afternoon this day.
He probably would be moving over to the FDR.
So how are you getting there? Does Martin have a car? I don't remember.
I don't think we ever talked about it. He probably takes mostly public transportation or an Uber. I'd say in this case, from the house to FDR, it'd probably be an Uber.
Okay, while you're in that Uber, go ahead and roll me a wits and awareness.
And not within Creed, presumably.
No.
Sweet. Fuck all.
Awesome. So you take your Uber to FDR's and you pull up right out front where you would expect an Uber to drop you off. And another Uber pulls up right behind you, and you would guess like early 20s young man gets out of the back seat, and he looks directly at you. And you kind of see the like glossy look of awe on his face, and he starts to walk towards you.
This is the stalker thing, isn't it?
I don't have an answer to that.
I'll let him walk up, but I'll try to keep a healthy, leave room for Jesus distance.
He walks right up into your personal space and basically grabs your hand to shake it. Hi, I'm Tim. Oh my God, Mr. Sherman, I have been following you for so long, since like before you were even playing clubs. Like, I've been watching. I know everything about you. Look, I have these of you. And he holds up and shows pictures of you on stage, hanging out inside clubs that you haven't performed in. I love your work and I need to see more of you. Can I have your number?
I'm flattered. Don't get me wrong. I don't really feel comfortable giving my number out to people I've just met. It's nothing against you.
What about like social media? Can I like follow you?
Yeah,
You should follow me back.
Sure. Sure, that's fine. You got Insta?
Yeah. And he pulls it up and his Insta is Martin Sherman is #1.
Okay. Boy is focused on ending this interaction as quickly as possible.
Are you going in there for a drink? I could totally go for a drink.
I'm going in to meet a friend, and we're just trying to catch up. It's been a while. It's kind of a personal thing.
Is it one of the band members? I would love to meet one of the band members.
It's not. It's an old friend from school. That's all. It's nothing special.
You're sure it's nothing special?
Yeah. It's just meeting up with an old friend, you know?
I've been following. I didn't realize you were still in contact with old friends. I gotta go. And then he storms off.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm going in the fucking bar and I'm ordering a fucking shot.
It's like 1 PM. I'm gonna need 3 shots of tequila, please.
Yeah, it's basically what he walks up to the dude and it's like, listen, I don't know if you saw that bullshit. I don't care if you did or not. Just pour me a shot or 2.
Yeah, and he starts pouring you drinks and like asking what's going on. And that wouldn't be too out of the norm because like this isn't necessarily the safest bar to have problems at. So he wants to make sure that like you're not bringing heat into the bar. But then I'm going to cut back to Scot, to Draven, who it sounds like is getting ready for some B&E.
Correct. There will potentially be a B. There will definitely be an E.
Yeah, so you head over to what used to be the bakery, and its entrance is down an alley. Like there's no foot traffic. There's a couple cars parked outside. You see a delivery truck that's unloading boxes of something into Club 206.
Oh, well, see, now I've just got an agenda of curiosity. Item number 1, let's move a little bit closer to watch unloading of boxes.
It looks like mostly cases of wine and other alcoholic beverages.
The people unloading onto the truck, I've seen them before.
That's a good question. Go ahead and roll me wits and awareness.
What's awareness?
I would also accept insight.
We'll go with awareness. No, we'll go with insight. 1 more die, which is not necessarily a good thing. 3 successes.
You don't know that you've seen them around, but nothing stands out as weird about them. They look like delivery drivers. They're not like pale. They don't visibly have fangs. They're not carrying guns or anything. They look like just 2 people in a white delivery truck unloading boxes into a club.
Okay. Going back down the alleyway, what does the entry of the bakery portion look like?
So the door has a big piece of plywood over it with the door handle cut out. The windows are all plywooded over. This place looks like it was abandoned, and then all of the entrances were sealed with plywood, and it hasn't been touched in a long time. A shitload of graffiti.
Okay, so Seattle.
Yeah.
All right. Checking the windows. How secure is the plywood? I am specifically looking to see. This is an abandoned building. One of these plywoods is probably just sort of hanging there.
Yeah, you're able to find one that it basically is able to like swing to the side, and you see that the window behind it has been broken out.
My shocked face. Is it broken enough that somebody could go through it?
Easily. It looks like
Okay.
somebody with a big back could climb through it.
Oh, cool. Okay. Safety first, though. You have to be mindful of safety. Just before I crawl through the window into the building, I am going to draw my gun.
Okay.
And I do have habit of the job, have a flashlight with me.
You just make a note because I have ADHD and will forget everything if I don't write everything down. Okay, so you climb in the window and you're standing in what clearly was the kitchen of a bakery at one point. You still see some of the equipment around, the counter space, ovens, but it's dirty. It looks like people have been squatting here for a long time. Not like this isn't someone's squat, but like people have been coming and going from this place way more than you probably would think for an abandoned building. Maybe not you because of your work as a cop, but like this place has been occupied.
If I pause and listen, am I hearing anything in this building?
Give me another wits and awareness.
3 successes.
You hear dripping and a small crackling. Maybe a fire?
Okay. All right. That would. So far, nothing is standing out in his head. From the kitchen, what are the entrances and exits?
There's one like swinging door that looks like it goes towards the like front where the front door would be, and then there's another like wooden door. Looks kind of like a closet door.
Coming in through the entryway, facing the kitchen. Which direction is the club for me?
To your left.
To my left. The door into the main area would be to my left, and the closet would be to my right.
Yes.
I'm going to go up to the door of the closet and essentially standard doorknob.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, round doorknob like you would find on most doors.
I'm going to take it and just move it really slightly to see if there's give, if it'll actually open.
Yep. It appears to be unlocked.
Safety first. I have my gun in my hand. I'm going to whip the door open and just point the gun inside the closet.
So you swing the door open and it's really dark. And at first you see what you think is like a writhing mass of darkness. And then you hear the squeaking and the scratching as a swarm of rats, easily over 50 rats, come swarming out of this closet, runs across your feet. Some of them like nipping at your pants, and they take off and just go and hide in the kitchen.
As a fellow GM, I would like to give you a little bit of fuel for your fire of creativity. I personally do not like rats. So I'm going to say that Draven does not like rats.
Awesome.
Rats, for him, are like snakes to Indy.
Perfect.
He did not find that pleasant at all. But now that they have moved along, he's going to take the flashlight and move it around in the closet. What does he see?
Empty storage shelves, like chewed up bits of garbage, lots of rat poop. That's about it. A broken light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Like it's in the light, but it's broken.
And there's lots of dust and everything because the place has just been abandoned.
Yes, but there is the like markings of people having been here, but it's still very dusty and dirty.
Are there any, specifically what I would be looking for on the floor? Is there anything showing that anything on the floor would have been pushed aside?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go over to the door leading into the, this is like a swinging door kitchen into a main eating area.
Yeah, no, it's more like a small storefront.
Small
There's
storefront, okay.
Display case, counter, and then along the walls are more display cases.
Okay.
This is very much a like bakery shop, not a place to eat at.
Okay. I am going to very slowly open it to see if there's any reaction on the other side.
You hear more, the crackling gets a little bit louder, and you hear more of that scratching sound that you heard from the closet.
I let the door fall shut for a second. Fucking rats. I'm contemplating how many rats I saw, and I'm trying to do the math based off of the number of bullets in a clip. It would just make too much noise. How tall is this building?
1 story.
1 story.
It's a tall one-story, but it's definitely not tall enough to have a second floor.
Take a deep breath. I've already come in this far. I need to go in and look. I'm going to push the door open and lead with the flashlight into the room. And I'm starting my focus to the left side of the room.
So as you scan around the room, you don't see a swarm like you did in the closet, but there's easily another 15, 20 rats scattered around this room digging through garbage. And sitting in the far right corner, kind of by where the actual entrance would be, is a very dirty man. And he's over a very tiny campfire with one of the little camping cups. Looks like he's heating something up.
All right. And I take it he has noticed somebody with a flashlight moving into the room.
Yes, he looks up. I was going to pull up this scene for you, but I don't see the bookmark. Hey, what are you doing in my spot? You're not
Hey there, buddy. Since other than the campfire and the flashlight, there's no other light going on in the room.
No, just a very little bit that's sneaking through the cracks in the plywood. Okay.
So as I see him and he looks up and starts talking to me, I have taken my other hand and I've slipped my weapon back under my jacket because I don't want to startle him. Hey there. Didn't mean to interrupt your dinner?
It's just coffee, if you can call it that.
Gotcha. You been here long?
Couple days.
Listen, you've been around for a couple of days. You noticed anything? I'm going to start flat. You noticed anything around here?
I know that there's the bridge right over there, the First Ave Bridge. Shitload of activity on the weekends. Big parties, loud music, lights, weird crowd.
Yeah. They don't come over here? Well, and I kind of look around at the...
No, not to my little squat, but sometimes I'll see them leave the club next door and head over there after closing time.
So they head from the club to the bridge?
Yeah.
You don't get any trouble here?
No. I come in quiet, I stay quiet. And he shows you his arm and it's dirty and he's and I've been clean for 6 years, buddy. So no problems with the law, just trying to make it work. Speaking of which, you got a couple bucks?
I hesitate for a second, but I'm sort of assessing it. And he's got a clean arm, which does not necessarily mean anything, but he's not giving any hostile vibes whatsoever.
No, and he seems pretty clear-headed.
Okay.
He's not slurring words or anything. He's not swaying around. He's not falling over.
I pull a 10 out of my pocket and pass it over to him. John, by the way.
You can call me... My laptop died. You can call me Billy.
Billy? How long you plan on staying?
I don't know, another night or two, then I'll move on. Probably come back a couple weeks. I don't like to stay in one spot too long.
Okay, I hear that. Listen, Billy, I may come back in a couple of nights before you leave. Stay safe. Keep your eyes open, man.
While you're talking to him, when you go to hand him the shit, I just meant to click restore all tabs. While you're handing him the bill, go ahead and roll me a wits and awareness as you're getting closer and seeing him.
1 success.
That's all you needed. You see that tattooed on his neck in a graffiti style is the word silent. And you've seen these graffiti markers all over town. And you've heard that where you find silent tags, you'll find people with information to help hunters.
So I can ask him weirder questions.
Based on the information that you have, you think that might be possible.
Listen, Billy, and I hand him the $10 bill. You haven't really seen anything in the last couple of days since you're here, but I'm curious. Have you seen anything really strange? And he sort of indicates to the tattoo.
He looks at you for a long minute, clearly taking your measure, and he pulls out a rumpled up Polaroid picture of a girl hanging out under the overpass bridge that you've seen before. You've actually talked to her. It's Sherry. She's one of the weird ones. Keep an eye on her. Don't get too close.
You and me both, my friend. This is good to know. Is he offering me the photo by any chance, or is he just showing it?
Yeah, he goes to hand it to you.
All right. I take it from him. from a tabletop perspective, as I look over at my fellow players, is there anything that they think that I should be asking right now that I have not yet thought of?
What's weird about her? And what's weird about the ones that are hanging out underneath the bridge?
It's a good question. How do you mean weird?
About the girl or the crowd?
Let's start with the girl, but we'll talk about the crowd.
Pale, only seeing her at night. Her eyes are kind of red, like a weird shade of red. Not like she's stoned, but like the color of her eyes is red. Teeth are
Same.
a little long, but not long enough to be like unnatural, you know?
Same weird with the rest of the crowd?
No, more like show up in skimpy outfits, clearly on a lot of drugs. Some of them are territorial about it. Like, will question you if you try to walk up there and try to shoo people away. Like, it's one of those, like, anybody can go, but not just anybody, you know? I know they're selling this, like, weird red powder drug there that I'm not familiar with.
Territorial, like they're hanging out, like they're not in the right mind?
Like when they're throwing these parties, it's kind of like they're like bouncers, but not like officially. It's one of those like if they think you're cool, they'll leave you alone, but if you're not, they'll kind of harass you and hope you'll leave.
You've got to pass the vibe check.
This is good to know. Billy, you've been very helpful.
I do what I can. You have been too. This will get me coffee and food for at least tonight and tomorrow.
Like I said, I'll be back in a couple of days.
You know, for another 5, I'll keep a specific eye out for you.
Really? Well, I tell you what, Billy. I pull out another 10. You got a phone?
Yeah. He pulls out what like it's not a Nokia brick, but it may as well be. He's probably had this phone for 15 years.
Probably still works well too. I pull out a small notepad, whip my phone number out, hand him the phone number. You see anything, you give me a call.
For 10, you got it. Gets me.
Stay
I'm
safe,
gonna go
my
get me
friend.
some coffee, a hot dog, and 1 beer. Only 1, because you're generous, and I don't want to abuse you.
He contemplates that for a second. He accepts it. When he comes back in a couple of days, he's going to be more generous. But for now, he's got work to do. So he's going to exit the building, checking the alleyway before he exits through the window.
Yeah, the delivery truck's still out there, but you don't see the loaders. No foot traffic. You see cars driving by the end of the alley, like in the road, but nobody in the alley.
All right.
I also want to point out that, like, 1, your distaste of rats would make this obvious, and also the amount of time that you probably spent investigating abandoned buildings and being in Seattle. That was a extremely unnatural amount of rats. You might have expected to find like 10 or 20 in that building, but you easily saw 80.
I might be making a mental note to bring more clips.
Maybe a frag grenade or 2.
I could pick. Don't tempt me.
I believe you have the arsenal advantage, and
That is correct. I was wondering if the police would have their hands on a flamethrower, but let's not do arson for rats. M16 will be fine.
Awesome. Let's jump back to. There's more you wanted to do.
I'm assuming our plan was to meet back at the FDR. So I'm going to. That is my destination.
Sweet. And then, Dr. Talbot, what's the next step in your research? It's probably getting on late afternoon now.
Actually, can I get a 10-minute break? I need to take this puppy out.
Yeah, that works. I want to get some more water and another bag of chips.
Okay, 10 minutes.
So, Dr. Talbot, what is the next step in your research?
The next step is to net dive. Following the threads that I have now regarding the weaknesses, and just kind of also following up on the whole nobility equals blessed supernatural, because that struck her as interesting, considering the Stoker mythology has Dracula as the Lord, Vlad Dracul. She obviously reads up about Vlad Dracul and all the mythology around him, and also Elizabeth Bathory and the drama around her, because that all kind of fed into the Stoker stuff. And she's just going to kind of follow those little lines and see where it takes her.
So for your net research, I'm going to need intelligence and technology. And based on your previous roles, I assume you're getting information, considering you hacked into the missing persons database.
I only have 5 successes.
Only 5.
Only 5.
You're able to find it's no longer up and running, but you find a dead website that has just the traces of weird information, but it's clearly been wiped and tried to be shut down. You're just kind of finding traces of the ShrekNet.
And what is the connection that brought me here?
You were like deep diving like vampire forums and found reference to it, and it took some serious fucking digging to find. But this feels like a forum, like information passing was an information highway for some sort of non-humans.
Okay, I'm going to dig into that a little further, as much as I can.
It seems like in the early 2000s was the last time this had been used, and it was just wiped. There's none of the posts are there anymore. There's no, like, you can't trace any admins back. This was very, very much an underground site in, like, the deep web that you barely were able to find traces of.
Next lore question. Where did Dr. Evelyn Talbot get an onion router from?
I assume in the safe house that you guys would have one. The nature of the work that you guys do.
That's fair.
And Draven's a pretty sketchy dude, so.
True. Okay, you said it was called ShrekNet?
Yeah.
Okay, so the references that led me there, I'd like to dig further into those posters to see if I can get any other websites that seem similar or that might be hunters communicating.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me another intelligence and technology.
7 successes. Bleh.
You're able to essentially find posts, and they're all different IPs, but they're all under the name Silent, talking about movement of creatures. Some talking about vampires, werewolves, ghosts, shape changers. You see one about a giant pig that also walks on 2 legs.
That just described a human. A very tall one. Anyway, so I'm going to drill down on the ones mentioning vampires specifically and just cross-referencing the information in those posts with what I've gleaned from my research, my other research.
You can see that since the catastrophe, not a lot of information has been found. Like, they think that the catastrophe, something that happened with the catastrophe, shook the night world. So it has both become more active and also been not wiped out, but like some serious house cleaning has been done among what you would probably consider factions, but most hunters think of as gross collections. Just looking at it like an anthropological aspect, you would view it as like factions and cultures.
Or factions within a culture.
Yeah.
I don't have enough information to really decide yet. Okay, so they were affected pretty hard by the catastrophe and are probably in recovery mode as well. Whew. Okay, I'm also going to kind of, as a background to the information that I think is real, kind of do a dump into a document of the standard internet, you know, like the Wikipedia article covering the history of vampires and that kind of thing, and just hit the highlights of that into a document, and then compile my findings into the same document. So it's a kind of a half-assed paper that she can give to Draven and Martin when they come back. Or when she sees them next, she'll probably take it with her to the FDR.
Sweet. As you're getting ready to log out, you get an email to your personal email, not your work email.
Okay.
It's addressed from ESOG, and the subject line just says hunting, and the message says, I see that you're hunting them, and if you really are, we should talk. And then it tells you to go to a church on the north side of SoDo Sunday at 3. We'll say today's Wednesday.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. Okay. A church in SoDo, east side of SoDo?
Yep.
Sunday at 3.
And it is specifically a Catholic church.
Given everything she's been reading today, that actually makes sense.
You also would know that a stranger getting your email means that they're probably as good as with a computer as you are.
Oh yeah, that was kind of my assumption right from go when you said you get an email on your personal email. Oh, yeah. Shit.
Yeah,
also,
and they made sure it came to your personal email, not your easily accessible university email.
Right. Yep. Okay. Also, they might even be a little bit better than me because they caught me looking. Not that I was really trying to be stealthy, but they caught me looking, and
that did make my role easier.
What are the chances that somebody's just going to assume that this one IP address looking for information on vampires in the sea of the internet on a random day? So they have trackers and triggers in place. Okay, so I am also going to take that information with me as well, Gesundheit, and go to the FDR.
Awesome. Close that.
Oh, Martin's gonna be so upset explaining this to them.
All right, so you all arrive at FDR's. Well, at different times, but I assume at your normal table. You don't even have to order drinks. You come in and your like regular drinks are made for you. Franklin, as always, makes you come to the bar for them, even though there's people that can bring them to you.
Mostly because he's a jerk about the first time they were in here.
There was a gentleman here that was one of our leads in terms of knowing how to deal with vampires.
Yes, there was.
What was his name?
Hank.
Looking for it right. Was it Hank? No, I think Hank was the other guy.
I wrote it down as Hank. I may have misunderstood.
One of the cats just had an incident.
No, it's Hank.
Cat has just learned that hot things are hot.
I still haven't learned that.
I have a mug warmer here on my desk, and the kitten has decided that this is a good throughway to come see me or to get into my desk chair for a nap. And he was trying to do that, but my mug warmer is on without a mug on it. And he put his foot down on it and got a nasty surprise.
Kittens.
So yeah, we should probably talk to this Hank fella.
Let me see if Hank is in the building. Hank is not in the building.
Damn it. Well, next time we're in and/or if, maybe we can get his, if we can get his information off of somebody, we can talk to him that way.
I mean, we're going to be here for a minute, so he might come in while we're in.
It's like, let me roll for that.
We'll see. I'll never give you a straight answer.
That's fair.
That's fair. We never do anything straight around here. Okay. What was that?
Hence the flag.
Indeed. So when Evelyn walks in, she just kind of goes over and, she picks up her drink and then sits down with them and slides her packets of information across the table to them. And, of course, has one for herself so she can reference it. This is what I got. It's not a lot and lacks a great deal of detail, but this is all I could come up with.
Draven tosses the photograph on top of the stack of records. Jerry's vampire.
What?
Huh?
He holds up the picture and shows you the individual under the bridge.
In the picture, you can see that she does look a little inhuman. Her eyes are kind of red, and she's smiling, and I wouldn't call them fangs, but her incisors are a little longer than they should be.
She looks similar to Maria in all the odd ways. Maria's fangs were a little bit longer.
And Maria was significantly prettier, like unnaturally.
Okay, I need a reminder because the player's memory is not fantastic. We have talked face to face with Cherry, correct?
Yes, she was the drug dealer under the bridge.
Okay, so she was there under the bridge when we first went to investigate there.
Yes.
And none of us noticed anything weird about her at the time.
Nope.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
To be fair, you weren't looking for it.
No, that's true. We didn't have any inkling that this might be what we'd be dealing with at that time.
Yeah, to you, she just looked like a gutter kid. And in the picture, she still looks very, like, dirty punk rock.
This started as a missing person. We're now confirming a quarry.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, and you just said the words I was looking for, because I've been planning on doing this all night, but I was waiting till closer to the end. You have found out significant information about the quarry, and that's going to lower your desperation down to 1.
Yay!
You now know what your quarry is.
We need to talk to Cherry again. And this time, I think we need to do it alone, somehow. We need to find a way to get her away from everybody.
That is going to be a little more difficult, and he then conveys the additional information about everyone who comes out of the club and basically runs a blockade around her.
Yeah, that
And it
sounds about
seems
right.
like there's a rave, punk show, something of that nature every weekend.
So we know how to find her, we just don't know how to get her alone.
I'm not about to have this extremely gay man try and rizz up a vampire woman.
I almost made your stalker a woman just for the making Martin extra uncomfortable, but I figured the stalker would know your sexuality and shoot a shot.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe you'll fall in
That's
love.
going to be interesting. Whew, okay. All right, well, this is what I got from my researching thus far. I would really prefer to have more information, but I guess now we need to start looking within our community, which brings me to an email I received today, just as I was getting ready to come over here. And I explained about the email.
That sounds like a trap and like you shouldn't go alone.
It didn't say I had to go alone.
Well, then you're not going alone, because, it's a church, but, I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
I mean, yeah, my information indicated that holy relics, holy items might help against vampires, but it's hit or miss, seems to depend on the vampire's actual beliefs and probably origins, too.
Raven, I'd like you to roll me a wit and a cult roll.
1 success.
You're not sure why, but the ESOG is very familiar to you. You know that you heard about it in at one of your times back when you were actively going to church, as it being a weird branch of the church, but you can't remember much anything else.
He points out that this church is more of Catholic with an asterisk.
Okay, well, that makes sense considering everything I've been reading today. I mean, the Catholic Church was the source of the original Inquisition. They've also tended to be the ones to perpetuate stories about things that go bump in the night, and because it reinforces their claims to supernatural and spiritual power.
Any other information that needs to be passed around?
Yes. Martin has probably been sitting there. He's probably a little red in the cheeks at this point. But he's sitting there probably looking a little uncomfortable. And when the silence settles over the group while they contemplate their next move, he's going to relay the conversation he had with Nelson and how that isn't at all what happened. He said, or they told him that they were just moving boxes around the bar and stuff like that. But when we were talking to Maria, she was very much talking about deliveries and stuff like that, like moving cargo effectively. And that was the page that everybody was on during the initial conversation, right up until the moment that everybody was suddenly agreeing with Maria's proposition. So their memories have been messed with again. Also, Maria is a little concerned that I've been sighted at other bars, other clubs.
Why would that concern her?
It sounded like she was worried I was going to violate the contract and be performing at other places, which I just went in for a couple of drinks as far as she knows. there's also another problem that I need to tell you both about now. I think I have a stalker.
What? Is that why you're a little tipsy?
Yeah. And Martin will go into detail about his arrival at the FDR today, including the Instagram account, the way he was behaving, the way he stomped off. He's like, I'm already in over my head with this one.
I don't like the sound of the way he got mad when you said you were in touch with old friends.
I don't either. Nothing about any of this feels particularly good, and it's kind of, wait a minute. He showed me pictures of me performing at clubs I've never been to.
No, pictures of you performing and pictures of you at clubs you haven't performed at.
Haven't performed. Okay, so both. Okay, that was just, I misunderstood. Got you.
Yeah, like it looks like like you went out for drinks and there are pictures of you having drinks with friends.
Got you. Okay, that makes more sense. He's got pictures of me at all kinds of clubs, places I have and haven't performed at, just other places I've just visited for fun. You know, it was a lot right away, and I don't know what to do about it.
Did he have pictures of you with us?
No.
Not that I saw, but that doesn't mean he doesn't.
Maybe you should stay at the safe house for a while.
Maybe a good idea. Should I maybe file a police report too?
Unfortunately, I don't. Well, Draven, you'd know better than me, but my understanding is that until he does something actually illegal, they can't do anything about it.
True. You want me to talk to him?
I can't ask you to do that. If he's interfering with our work, which he might, I could see it, then maybe it's a good idea. I just don't feel comfortable having people follow me around to places that I have not given them permission to follow me to.
How do you think the vampires?
Okay, well...
Okay, but their quarry, it's different, even though it's not.
Their quarry, they're actively doing illegal things.
Okay, that part's true.
You mentioned that you have to be to the club to perform.
Yeah. What was that? Did we say it was on Thursday?
Yeah.
In-game? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Friday, because he said a couple days.
Yeah, it would be
You're
Friday.
Right. Friday. You're right.
Right, and you would be bringing in the crowd because you're the local act, the headliner of the resident headliner at the bar.
Right.
When does the email say that you're supposed to be going to church?
On Sunday.
On Sunday. Club on Friday, Cherry on Saturday, church on Sunday.
It's an all-American weekend.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And in the meantime, Martin, I really do think you should not go home at all for the next few days at least.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna text the band members about this too, just so that they're aware that something's up.
They shouldn't be dismissive about it because it shouldn't involve anything to do with your contract with Maria.
No, this is, as far as I know, it's completely separate, so... Martin will follow through with that, notify the band members that there's a fucking weirdo following him around.
How much of a conversation do we need to have with Cherry?
Our primary objective is to find Jessica, because we still have zero information about where the hell she's been all this time. At least in Evelyn's mind, vampires are secondary until we get Jessica back, at which point, depending on what's been going on, what happened with Jessica and all of that, vampires will probably become the primary concern.
But Cherry is a link to Jessica.
Very possibly.
And a link to the vampires.
It's looking like it now, yeah.
Yeah. I'd say a pretty in-depth conversation may need to be had, but we could probably start with just as much as is possible an information broker exchange with her. Question is, what would we have to give her if we do it that way?
That's my concern, because most of what we have, either she doesn't need or we need to not let her know we have. What I'm really concerned with is what kind of vampires are we actually dealing with? Because the mythology that I've got suggests that there could be many different types, and it's almost sounding like they have their own culture with factions. And I don't know if that's split up among the types and we're only dealing with one type, or if it's split up among a much more complex situation. I'm anthropologying at you guys, sorry.
You are, but you're also right. That sort of corroborates with the little that Maria has said, from what I've gathered.
Yeah, you suggested a hierarchy of some kind, possibly feudal, maybe some flavor of corporate as well. And that's to say nothing of what their abilities are. We still don't know that. The only strong indication I have of weaknesses is piercing through the heart. Sunlight seems to be a problem for them, but it doesn't necessarily say that's a guaranteed kill.
Piercing through the heart.
Piercing through the heart seems to be the preferred method, and using a silver item to do it seems to be even better.
Well, that's more than we knew to start with. Maria refers to this hierarchy like it's some sort of immutable force. To try and disturb this hierarchy is to bring down the wrath of all of them on you. She seems almost paranoid about it herself sometimes, but she won't ever go into any detail.
Well, that might just be an indication of absolute authoritarian power among them, especially if it's hierarchical. But it also might mean... So some of the legends suggest that the older the vampire, the stronger and more invincible they become. But I don't have anything saying one way or the other about that. So maybe that's part of it too, and maybe that's a complete myth. I can't say.
Now you know about as much as I do, but from an academic standpoint. So, Hank said he knows something, right?
Well, I'm not sure that what he said at the time matches what I have found out, but again, not everything I've found out necessarily has any corroboration, so we should probably talk to him to see if he can give us anything more, but I haven't seen him yet.
I haven't either. Wasn't here when I got here, and I'll be honest, I wasn't looking too hard. I was a little shaken, a little shook. Maybe we can get his contact info from somebody? Do you think Frank would know?
Maybe. I mean, I gathered Hank is in here fairly regularly.
Well, I suppose it can't hurt to ask somebody.
This is probably your forte, Draven, and Frank doesn't really like me very much for some reason. Did you want to go chat with him?
I missed it. Did he? Yes. The first part of that was Scott. The second part of that was Draven. He huddles up to the bar for a refill and inquires, I'm looking for Hank.
Hank's not here. Can let him know you're looking for him.
Can you let him know it's important?
Like job important or like important?
Job important.
I'll let him know next time I see him.
You just have to... Why can't you be nice to Frank?
I was trying to be nice to Frank.
Frank's great.
He's great. He's just a cantankerous old bastard who doesn't like the young whippersnappers. And yet, he's respectable for it.
Hank doesn't put up with Frank doesn't put up with shit.
Well, guess this is our regular haunt for the next few nights, or at least the two of you, since I shouldn't really be going anywhere.
Wait a minute. You came here straight from the safe house.
Yeah.
And your stalker pulled up in an Uber right behind you.
Yes.
You're coming home with me tonight.
Okay. I wish I had an argument, but I don't got anything.
Can you describe this guy? Tim or whatever?
Young, dark skin, short hair, dressed nicely, wild look in his eye.
Okay, so when we leave, you don't come out until I have a chance to look around and see if... Well, Draven and I have a chance to look around and make sure that he's not around. And then I will pull my truck or my car. What am I driving? I don't even know what I'm driving.
I think it was like a crossover type thing.
Yeah. I will pull my car around and have you get in at the door.
This woman drives an El Camino. Ugliest car in existence.
You take that back.
Whoa.
I knew I was gonna stir up something with that.
I love El Caminos.
They're agreed to disagree.
Like, what if a truck was cool?
Right?
Okay, but see, I grew up in Southern California where the muchachos, used El Caminos in the street they, what is it? Like the bouncing, I don't remember the name, but, with the hydraulics, lowrider. Yeah, the lowrider culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, El Camino was very popular for the lowriders in that era.
I love it.
I did not. They were loud and obnoxious.
That's just the purr of a 396 big block.
Meanwhile, on the streets of Seattle,
It's all Japanese tuners. I love it.
it's true.
I love me some JDM. So, finishing up at FDR's, where's everyone going?
We are clearing the parking lot and adjacent properties of any possible sighting of this stalker first.
Go ahead and roll me a wits and awareness.
Okay.
You don't want me making this roll. This boy he's got wits, but he is oblivious to all hell.
Okay, but you're not making this roll because you're not looking. We are.
3 successes.
I have 4 successes.
You find no traces of the person fitting that description.
Okay, I pull my car around as close to the door as I can get, and lean over and pop the door for Martin to get in.
Sweet. And you guys are headed back to Dr. Talbot's house?
Yes.
How about you, Draven?
Draven's just gonna head home.
Cool. Yeah, you guys make it home with no issues, and I think we'll end the session here.
Sounds good. Yeah, Evelyn's got a pull-out couch and extra sheets and stuff, and then if we have to, we'll take you shopping for some clothes tomorrow. You're not going home right now.